This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast that celebrates the everyday runner. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher. Whether you're a seasoned marathoner, half marathoner, ultra marathoner, prefer shorter distances, or just getting started, if you run, you are a runner, and every runner has a story. Join me each week as I share these stories, and we cross finish lines and celebrate milestones together. This episode is brought to you by Barilla Protein Plus Pasta. Barilla wants to help you stay active this winter with its great tasting Protein Plus Pasta. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am 1/4 Italian, and my family actually used to have a sauce cook-off every summer, the Madelone family sauce cook-off. And so pasta is near and dear to my heart. And over this holiday break, I had my mom pick up some Barilla Protein Plus pasta when we had sauce with my aunt, who won the sauce cook-off the most. The additional protein comes from lentils, pea protein, and chickpeas, which actually makes it a great source of fiber as well. And everybody loved it. My picky kids, my meat and potatoes husband, who doesn't like to try anything different, everyone said it tasted great. It's the pasta taste you love with the energy you want. And Lord knows we all needed extra energy to power through the holiday break. So why not grab the yellow Barilla box of pasta when you're at the grocery to get a little bit more protein and additional energy, especially as someone who is a runner. Adding additional protein into my diet is always great. So it's the perfect way to do that. And speaking of running, as we often do on this podcast, put your energy to the test and take on Barilla's Protein Plus Pasta's Winter Energy Challenge this February on the Strava Fitness app. It's free. All you need to do is complete 10 days of movement for your Barilla Protein Plus Pasta reward. Terms and conditions apply. Sign up at strava.com, and thank you Barilla Protein Plus for supporting this podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 95. This is Allie. This is the last week I will be reminding you of the Barilla Protein Plus Pasta Strava Challenge. So if you haven't joined yet, go do that. You have to move 17 minutes for the 17 grams of protein in each serving for 10 days in February, which I know probably most of you have already done. So go ahead, go join that, and then you get a coupon for a free box of pasta. So what more could you ask for? And then if you missed last week's episode with Dina Lewis, we talked a lot about runner safety, and I mentioned an event that's taking place here locally in the Carmel, Indiana area at Athletic Annex this Sunday, February 16th, 5:15 p.m. My amazing friend, Christy D., also known as This Blonde Runs, will be there. She is co-hosting the event, and there will be a safety demonstration. So I am hoping to be there as well. And then save the date for May 2nd. I've said this a couple of times, but in case you haven't saved the date or haven't heard me say it, Lindsay Hine from I'll Have Another Podcast with Lindsay Hine is coming to town for the Indy Mini, and we will be hosting a live podcast event at the Bottleworks Hotel on May 2nd. So there will be a link to register soon. I'll be sure to share that when it's available. It is going to be a paid event of some kind. We are ironing out sponsors and exciting partnerships as we speak. So that's going to be an amazing event. I'm so excited. And then speaking of amazing events, the day this comes out, Valentine's Day, February 14th, marks 1 month until the Holliday Park Trail Run. So again, local event. Sorry for all you non-locals, but there is an amazing trail run in Holliday Park that I finally participated in myself last year, and it was amazing. So my guest this week is Lisa Hurst, and we talk all about this race and her involvement in Holliday Park. Lisa is the one responsible for starting this race. And we didn't say it while we were recording, but afterwards I found out that Lisa is responsible for helping raise almost $10 million for Holliday Park over the last 25 years. Of course, she said to me, I did not do it alone, but she is a huge reason why Holliday Park is what it is today. And again, she's the reason for this awesome event. So on Friday, March 14th, there is a 1 mile kids run and a tot trot, and then packet pickup. And then on Saturday is the 5 mile run. So come join me if you're going to be in town for it. And I can't wait for you to meet Lisa Hurst. I want to be her when I grow up. So enjoy this conversation with Lisa. Because we get to talk about running.
I know.
Which is my favorite topic.
Good.
So welcome, Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Oh, I'm excited. This will be fun.
So fun. And thank you to Ben
Yes.
for introducing us.
Yes. He's a great guy. He's been working for us for a couple of years now. He's doing a great job and helping pretty much exclusively with the ice rink and with the Holiday Park Trail Run.
And all the things you have going on, too, with the play. I can't wait to talk about the playground.
Oh, my
'cause I
gosh.
have little kiddos, so.
Oh, well, we've got the place for you.
And I know some parents who listen to this who are local, so
good.
very excited about that.
Yes.
But yeah, we are talking about Holiday Park is the reason we got connected.
Yes.
And last year was the first year I ran the trail run last
Good.
year.
Oh, so you've
Yes,
done it. That's
I have.
awesome. Good
And it
for
was
you.
so fun.
It is a fun race.
So fun. And I am a road runner through and through, okay, Lisa? So I was like, I don't know about this. But it was like being on vacation. It's
I
this
know.
Beautiful trail.
I know. Can you believe all that is right there in
No.
Indianapolis in the middle of a place where you've probably gone by
driven by a
many,
million
many
times.
times.
Yeah.
Many times. And you're down by the river and you're by Williams Creek and you're
Yeah.
on these beautiful excluded trails and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
This is fabulous.
so magical.
I know.
So I hope I get to run again this year.
I
was
do
trying
too.
to decide between bringing my kids on Friday for the kids run.
Well, I think you should do both.
I probably should do both. Here's the thing, though, Lisa. You've been married for 44 years. I've been married for 10.
Yes.
And I'm at the stage where we have young kids, and I'm just trying to pick and choose some of the things
Yeah, I know.
when it relates to running in particular, because
Yeah,
I'm
I
a little
know.
bit addicted to running. So
Okay. Well, Friday night is very fun, and I'm going to put in the pitch for that right now.
yeah, do it.
During COVID, we separated these events. They used to be on the same day.
okay.
And because of all of the procedures and everything that was going on at that time, we wanted to do it, but we thought we'll spread out the crowd and we'll do the kids on Friday night, and then we'll have the adult race on Saturday. The Friday night race was so popular amongst families that we decided to leave it that way.
Yeah.
Because you could come at 5:30, get your numbers, get ready for the race, run the race. The 1 mile trail run is a real trail run through the woods on trail, and then followed by that is the tot trot, where the little guys 5 and under race their little hearts out, and it's the cutest. It might be my most favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Watching
so
these
amazing.
kids be so proud of themselves, and then have bonfire and s'mores afterwards. People hang out. It's your Friday night family event.
Right.
It's very reasonably priced. The kids love it. We're inspiring young runners. And you go home and you put them to bed.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, and then they're
perfect.
tired because
And
they've
then
run
they're-
around.
Right, and they're tired. So
Yeah.
it's the perfect Friday night family event. So I think you should do both.
Okay, well now that sold me like 100%. So both it has to be it.
Yeah.
I'm actually planning to go out to Holiday Park to run this Friday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, to just get
Check the
some
courses.
video too for
Oh,
Ben.
good.
I'm being a good content creator. I'm like,
Okay.
well, this is a good excuse to go out there
Yes,
again
yes.
before.
Okay.
Because when I did the race, it was the first time I'd ever been over there, which was really fun
So you
too.
sort of know the drill.
Yeah.
Or you'll remember.
Yeah.
Or I'll meet you there.
Yeah, you should. So 25 years you've been involved in Holiday Park.
I have. So
That's crazy.
I know. Our kids went to school at Orchard across the street, Orchard
Okay.
School, and I was the garden site chair for Orchard and Bloom, which was an event that school used to have years ago in the park. And so I got to know the staff, and I also live right around the corner. At the end of my garden show stint, the manager of the park says, you really ought to be on the board. I go, well, I've never been on a board. I was a whopping 38, 39 years old. And I was like, I don't even know what it is to be on a board.
Yeah.
But sure, I like the park. I like you. I like the staff. Let's do it. So I joined the board. And at that time, they were finishing up the Nature Center campaign. We did not have a Nature Center
wow.
until 2000.
Okay.
And then, so that was kind of done. And then they were looking for a signature event that could be enhancing, that would raise money that would enhance the endowment to take care of the Nature Center. So we were all thinking about that. And I had a friend who took me to run in something called the Outback Scramble, a trail race at Eagle Creek.
Does that still exist?
It might. It is put on by Tuxedo Brothers.
Okay.
And they did it for many, many years. But my friend took me, and we ran all over Eagle Creek. And I thought, oh, my God, all on trails. They let us run all over the place. We ran in cornfields. It was brutal, honestly.
I was like, ooh, that's...
It was kind of brutal. And dry creek beds, everything else. No, but it was super fun. And I thought, we could do this in Holliday Park. We could have a trail race in Holliday Park. People could come, run in it. It would raise money. We could put that money in the endowment. It would help take care of the park. So that's where it all started. It took me a while to convince the manager that this would be a good idea. He's like, you're going to run all over our trails in the spring? I go, but we'll stay on the trails. It'll be fine. Finally, he relented, probably because I was relentless.
Yeah.
And took us another year to put together a race and figure out how to do it. And Tuxedo Brothers and Don Carr, who do so many races here in the Indianapolis area, helped. And we created this course, and we've been doing it ever since.
And what year was that it started?
I had to go back and look. That was 2001. So this year is the 25th time I have planned this race. We did not run it in COVID.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We had to cancel the week before.
Right, because that was because it's mid-March, so that's right when...
When the Shamrock Run canceled downtown,
then
I
you're
thought, we were like,
oh.
if that race is canceling, we need to cancel too.
Yeah.
And so we canceled. But we'd done all the work, raised all the money,
Yeah.
gotten all the sponsors. The people came and picked up their T-shirts.
Yeah.
It was sad, but it was definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the time. So this will be the 24th running of the 25th year of the Holliday Park Trail Run.
That's incredible.
It really is. I look forward to it so much every year. It's sort of like the kickoff of spring. People are dying to get out.
Do something.
And
give me a
do
race.
anything. And you know what? Trail runners do not care what the weather is. We have
They
don't. They're crazy. They will come no matter what. People will show up. A couple of years ago, we had a dusting of snow at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it made the trails slippery as all get out. There were still 200 people out there trotting their way around those trails. And you know what? It was absolutely gorgeous. It was so pretty because it was kind of snowing during it. It doesn't matter whether it's muddy or if it's just rain. We've been very fortunate, knock on wood.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate with our weather. The wild card is always the river.
Oh, yeah, because it's pretty close.
We run by the White River, and depending on who's had rain north of us, depends on how full the river is, and it can change our course because I try really hard to make it so that you're not running on two-way traffic on a narrow trail, coming and going.
Yeah.
And there's only so many ways to organize that trail, and if the river's high, it provides some challenges.
I wouldn't have really thought about that, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. So, you know what? Like I say every year. Well, every year we think we've done it so many times we should have it all figured out. But there's always a new challenge.
Always something.
There's always something. Yeah. And then we go, we've never done that before. But it always works.
Yeah.
It always works.
Yeah.
And people have a good
always
time.
Show up.
And people always show up, and it raises a tremendous amount of money for the park.
That's great.
Yeah. And people have fun at the same time.
Yeah. What could be better?
Nothing.
So what's funny is I joined my very first board ever a couple of years ago at Beyond Monumental, so the Monumental Marathon, and a few other events that we have. And so it's funny you describing like joining a board because I kind of felt the same. I'm like, okay, well, I've never been on a board before, but I absolutely love running and I love the Monumental events and sign me up for that. So so here I am too.
Good.
How cool
Good for you
to be part of something like that and starting something like that.
Yeah.
That's made such an incredible difference for the park.
It just warms my heart every year to see all these people doing it, from all backgrounds, all shapes and sizes, all abilities, everybody out there just to have a good time and to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. It's doing something all together and pursuing that same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I, surprisingly, don't ask me how, got an age group award.
Yeah.
And that was so fun. In the mail, I got like a Wild Birds gift card and a coffee gift card. And it was just, I was like, I love this race.
I know. Yeah. Well, there are advantages to smaller races.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's more opportunities for those of us to stand on the podium. And the longer in age that you run, the better your chances. Mm-hmm. Because people tend to maybe give up for a variety of reasons or slow down, which I am too. But it's still fun to do.
Yeah.
Just change your expectations and do it anyhow.
Totally. So how long have you been running, Lisa?
So I started running about the same time. I sort of dabbled in running after my favorite workout place closed in my late 30s. And I was like, oh gosh, now what am I going to do? Actually, I took a big pause completely and kind of got way out of shape. I had a family that it ranged in age from like 8 to 15, 16 years old,
Wow.
4 kids. And I was like, okay, well, my favorite place is gone. I got to do something.
What was your favorite place?
It was called One Body.
Okay.
And it was an exercise place at the time that Meg Coyle-Ursay owned.
Oh,
and she was
wow.
a fabulous teacher, and we just loved her. Just loved her. And she was very unique in that she met you where you are, and she'd provide modifications. She wouldn't say, everybody's going to do the same thing. She'd say, well, if you can't do that, then
You do
try
this.
this.
Yeah.
And she was very big on form and stretching, and she's a fabulous teacher. She still does some small teaching today, I think, small
that's
classes
cool.
today, but she was great. Anyhow, when she closed, I was heartbroken. So I started running a little bit, and then a very good friend of mine, Kyle Lanham, he said to me one winter, he goes, I've run with you at Lake Wawasee. It's time for you to come out and try a half marathon. I go, oh, no. He goes, I am going to be the 9-minute mile pace leader for training for the mini marathon, and I think you should join my running pace group. And it was through the National Institute of Fitness and Sport,
NIFS. Uh-huh.
Heather Fink, I think her name was something different at that time, but Heather Fink was the overall trainer, and it was a fabulous program, and you met up every week. I still know some of those people. I still see those people today.
Oh, that's really
I
fun.
do. They turn up at races and stuff, and we all reminisce about that. So I did it that year, and I ran my first mini right before I turned 41, which would have been in 2001. So we had done the trail run, so I was running. But and then we had organized the trail run that year and done it in March, and then I ran my first half that May.
Wow.
And I cried when I crossed the finish line, as we all do, because you're sure you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I was so worried that I was going to be terrible, that, I wouldn't make it. And you know what? I missed the whole point. The point is that all these people are out there doing it, and you're doing it together, and it doesn't matter how
at all.
At all. It's that you do it. And it was just, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try and run this mini marathon for every year for the next 10 years till I'm 50. That'll probably be good. It's blossomed a little bit from that.
I was going to say, that sounds like the start of something.
And it has been.
Yeah.
And it has been.
Yeah. So how many times have you run the Indy Mini?
That's a good question. Well, at least 10, maybe 15.
Okay, I'm about the same.
Maybe 15, maybe 15 times. I haven't run it for a while, but I've done the Monumental. I ran the Zionsville half marathon in November. I
was out there.
Neat course, very fun course.
Yes.
I've run for Bend for the first time a couple years ago.
Oh, that's one of our events. Oh, love
That's
that
a great event.
Yes.
I've run the Carmel Half in the early years, and I was early enough and old enough that I got an age group award
There you
one
go.
year for the half marathon. I'm predominantly a half marathon runner. I have not run a road full marathon. I ran the Tecumseh Trail Marathon years ago. That was fun.
So no road marathons.
No road marathons.
I feel like trail marathons way harder.
Yes, but as you said, you kind of feel like you're on vacation. And that trail marathon, I think these trail races are so neat because you do lose your expectations of pace. You're like, well, you can't run the same pace.
Yeah.
And you run what you can and you hike what you can't. And it's a nice variety of motions. And so in some ways I feel like it's longer, but it's easier on your body because you're not just doing the same
that's fair.
repetitive motion over. And it's soft.
Yeah.
It's soft. And the older I get, the nicer that is.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, I find myself running on the side of the Monon regularly, or on the the towpath because it's limestone.
In Broad Ripple area.
Yeah, start at Rivy or in Broad Ripple.
Yep,
and and now you can run way past the Art Museum, and it'll connect up to Fall Creek. You can get all the way downtown.
Well, shoot, that's really nice.
And to White River Parkway. It's really fun.
Yeah, I used to run. We lived in Broad Ripple for
Okay.
a long time. And for people
Yeah.
who aren't from this area, it's like Broad Ripple's like almost like a college town because Butler
is.
University's there.
I love running.
And so I used to run that a lot.
Yes.
A lot. Especially to just mix it up from the Monon or even combine the two,
right.
depending on how far I was trying to go. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. I've even been running the levee.
What's that?
The levee along White River.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. There you can get 4 or 5 miles.
That's
in there.
fun.
Out and back on hard-packed grass
Yeah.
with a structured thing on the top. Found that during COVID,
That's fun.
so I didn't have to run by anybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
When you run a lot of miles, you have to figure out other places, other ways to run, or else you kind of lose your mind.
Right.
But it's amazing for trail run how much trail is there between Murat and Holliday. You can put together 7 or 8 miles. Just wander around and run all those trails. You can really, and there are 1,000 steps in Holliday Park if you'd like a real workout.
Oh boy.
1,000.
That was the hardest part of the run for me was getting my ass up those stairs.
Oh my God.
That'll
Yeah.
humble you real quick.
I know. It's kind of a mean finisher, but
Well, I am glad somebody told me it was there because I didn't know. I show up, it's
Yeah.
my first time. I don't know what to expect, really.
I know.
And somebody's like, they're talking about this. I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, yeah, there's stairs at the end. And I'm like, okay, well, now I know.
yeah. So
And-
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I do it, I go, boy, this is really rotten to make them do this at the end. But honestly, there's no other way. You've got to come up because you are running down low by the White River.
You got to come back.
You have to do it.
So.
You have to do it.
Oh, yeah. And then you really feel like you've accomplished something.
Yes,
when
you
you
do.
get up to that top. You're like, okay.
Okay. Wow.
Just did that.
Hills are good for you.
Yes, they are. So do any of your kids run?
When I was training with NIFs, my son, decided he did make the soccer team. I said, I think you could be a runner. And he goes, okay. And he did my training with me for the half marathon, but he couldn't participate in the program. And then the next year, they let him do the training program. And yes, he became a very good runner and ran for Brebeuf in high
cool.
school and was a fabulous runner.
Oh.
Went to state and everything else.
That's
amazing. And it still does some running. Right now, he's a new parent, so he's not running too much. Right
that's
now.
exciting for you.
And our other son did too. So both the boys actually ran the Mini when they were around 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, that's...
I know. Our son Charlie ran the Mini on his 13th birthday. And my friend put, "It's my 13th birthday" on his shirt.
That's so smart.
And she said, "Now, Charlie, a lot of people are going to say happy birthday, but you don't need to say thank you to every one of them." Well, he said, "Oh my gosh, I had to say thank you." He goes, "Thousands of people wished me a happy birthday."
Oh, that's just the best.
Yeah, and the boys are good. The boys are good.
Okay, so you have 2 boys and 2 girls?
I have 2 girls, and my oldest daughter runs too.
Okay.
Britt runs a little bit, but she's more of a biker.
Okay.
But Samantha runs too. She is the reason we got into this crazy race called the Trans Rockies Run.
Whoa.
Tell
me what the heck that is.
You need to look it up.
Okay.
It's a 6-day race. Actually, this is the last year for it in Colorado. But it is a 6-day or a 3-day trail race in the Rockies where you get up and run every day. You cover 58 miles in 3 days or 120 in 6 days.
Oh.
It's major.
That's a lot.
And she said, "Chris, my husband and I are going to do this. We've had a great time." They went and did it. And I said, "You're doing what? You're going to run 58 miles in like 8,000 feet of elevation in 3 days?" She goes, "Yeah, it's 20 the first day, 13 the second day, and 25 on the last day." I go, "How are you going to do that?" And she said, "I don't know, but we've trained for it. We're going to do it." And then the next year she goes, "Mom, you could do this." I go, "I could?" And we trained and we did it.
Cool.
We did it. And I actually did it twice. So I did it at 52 and at 56. Yeah.
Wow.
It is absolutely beautiful. It was so hard. It was hard. I'm not going to tell you. Your legs are killing you because in the morning you get up and you go, "How am I going to run again today?" But somehow you do. You do.
Move and get it
You
done.
just move.
What else was the option then if you wanted to not run?
I guess you could have quit right there,
Okay.
but
Somebody would have picked you up in a van and taken you somewhere?
Actually, yeah. I don't know how they got people off the course that quit in the middle.
Right.
Or you just didn't go.
Yeah.
But you know what? You could hike the whole thing. You really could. You really can.
Yeah.
So I am continuing to do these trail races. One of your questions was, what's on your
what's on the list?
What's on
next?
the list? So Trans Rockies has opened up a 3-day race in Moab called Moab Run the Rocks. And I've convinced a group of women to go and do that the first weekend in March before Trail Run.
Okay.
3 days, and there's 2 distances. You can do a full pint or a half pint. So we've signed up for the half pint, which is 35 miles in 3 days.
How fun is that?
How
big is the group of women? How many women?
That I'm going. Last year there were 6 of us. This year there are 4 of us.
That's the best.
Plus a couple of college kids of somebody's and
just like
friends
hobble
here.
them together.
My friend that started me running, Kyle Lanham, is going. Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's so cool.
It's gorgeous. I mean, you just stand out there and you go, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Have you ever done a Ragnar race? Do you know what those are?
Oh, yes, I've done Ragnar.
I did my first one last September.
Oh, you did? Where
Yes.
were you?
I did Michigan Road.
I've heard that's a good one.
It's great. It was a blast. And, I just think about, getting women together to go do something. Like, I have another group of women I've done some racing with, too. And it just fills me up. Like, weekends like that, we could, like, be sitting on a beach drinking margaritas, or we could just, like, be sleeping in a van. And I choose the van, I guess. And it was so fun. But a couple of them are going back and doing the trail one this year.
Okay.
I had said no only because, like I said earlier,
Where's
I got to
the trail
pick and
one?
choose. It's, I don't know. It's in Michigan somewhere.
Okay.
But I don't know where in Michigan. And then they've got a ton around the country. Of course, Ragnar, some trail runners are kind of like, meh. It's more corporate,
Yeah.
the organization. So people feel a different way about that, I guess. But for me, it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it.
I loved it.
I would love to do a trail one. I am eyeing Zion.
Yeah.
Next, it's in early May. It would be before the Mini, but I want to do that in 2026.
Is it a half? Is it a trail?
Yes.
It's on trail.
Yep.
It's a Zion, and how long is it?
I think all of them are like 200-ish miles is what they say, ish. So it's not like
Oh, so it's Ragnar style?
Yes.
Got
But
it.
the trail ones are different in that you don't so the Michigan one I did was point to point. So
Okay.
you start in Traverse City and then you run to Muskegon.
Right.
And
Same with ours.
and then you kind of just figure out where to sleep and how to sleep on the way. And but with the trail ones, I guess most of them, if not all of them, are looped. So that makes it different.
So you come in, you do your loop, and then I'll go
Yeah.
do my loop, and then
Right.
somebody else will do
which
a
seems
loop.
nice because then you could actually sleep probably a little better.
I know. I
which
didn't sleep
would-
much
yeah,
during that
me either.
Ragnar.
Yeah. So which one did you do?
We did Wickenburg to Scottsdale. Wow. Wickenburg, Arizona to Scottsdale, and ended up in Scottsdale. It was fun.
Cool.
It was very fun.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I want, there's so many things that I want to do, Lisa.
I know.
So many.
I
Just
know.
not
Well,
enough time.
You got plenty of time.
I hope so.
How old are your children?
I have 2 girls, and one is almost 4 and one is 7.
Okay. You got plenty
So,
of time.
yeah. And they watch me run, right? So I'm trying to get, I hope that they enjoy that. So it's something
Right.
perhaps we could do when they're older.
Yeah.
We could do together. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I hope for that, but yeah.
You never know.
Never know.
You never know.
Yeah. And so is your family from here, Lisa? Are you from
Yes.
the Indy area?
Yes. Born and raised in Indianapolis. Yeah. We've been here the whole time. We have a family business here in Indianapolis called Hearst Beans.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. NK Hearst Beans.
Yeah.
And we sell dried beans to grocery stores all over the country.
So do you eat so many beans?
We
Does everyone
do,
ask you that?
We do and we don't.
Yeah.
We do and we don't. We're like everybody else. We eat them in the wintertime. We throw them in salads. We do stuff, but
Yeah.
they are one item on our menu, yes.
Yes.
But we
do
don't eat them every day
Right.
or even every week.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine that would be something that would be very hard to do every day, all the time.
You know what?
because-
The South does, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Beans are served almost every day.
Every meal, probably.
Every
too.
meal. And
yeah.
our Hispanic community, of course, eats beans all the time. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And how cool is it? I love just I can just visualize the name on the building.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Downtown.
That historical, which is now a event venue. I saw.
Correct.
I've never been there.
So we, let's see, how long have we done that for? I think the heirloom at NK Hurst is about, this is its fourth real season. We moved out of it and rebuilt a new, very modern, state-of-the-art packaging facility up in Zionsville about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And my husband and I bought the downtown building from the business.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. So it is separate.
Yeah.
It is separate. And we decided that it would get torn down if we didn't, honestly.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a second chapter, and people thought we were nuts. You're going to do what? You're fixing up this quirky, I mean, the main space is where all the beans came in 100-pound bags and sat on the floor, on the warehouse floor. I mean, the floor was wood. It had steel plates all over it. We rehabbed all the floors. I mean, it's a quirky space, but it has been very fun. Crystal Catering, Crystal Signature Events is our caterer. They lease the building from us. They host all the events, and we're seeing upwards of 120 events a year now. Corporate, weddings, parties, Taylor Swift pre-parties.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, it's happening there.
That's
it's
really amazing.
great, and it's so fun. You run into somebody all the time. Oh, I went to a wedding at your place.
Yeah,
I'm
and you're like,
well, that's great. We love being a part of people's memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did it.
and
We
celebrations.
had our wedding reception at Crane Bay downtown,
which was
really cool. And I think Crystal Catering did
It's the
our
same.
stuff. Yeah. I
Yes.
was like, that sounds familiar. It's been a decade, so I forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that whole area downtown. I mean, it's really special.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be a part of that. It's fun to save a historic building downtown because we're right around 100 years old down there. But our new facility is great too, and we've been packing beans for almost 90 years.
Okay, where do the beans come from?
The beans come from California, from Michigan, from drier states.
Okay,
But
so
predominant-
nothing that we
no.
don't grow it here.
We don't grow
Got
it
it.
here. We bring it in 100-pound. Now we bring it in giant totes that could almost, they're not much smaller than this room.
Whoa.
Huge square sacks, and then we repackage it in grocery-sized bags. Grocery-sized bags.
Yeah.
Yes. So we sell regular beans, but really our claim to fame is Hearst 15 bean soup.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I've never had that. Now I need to have it.
Now you'll need to have it. I should
Yeah.
have brought you a bag.
Yeah. Because I've seen it a million times.
Well, they'll be at the Holliday Park Trail Run as a part of your goodie bag, so make sure you
Perfect.
Make sure you pick it up.
Yes, I will.
As a
I
part
don't
of your
miss a
swag.
goodie bag.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so that's so interesting. How do they mix those together then? Just like a big.
Well, this giant mixer, it's wild. Yes, they dump all the different varieties in, and it mixes it. Yes.
Wow.
And it can X-ray and see whether or not there's a rock, because a rock is the same size as a bean.
Yeah, bean.
And it can kick out the rocks. We have very state-of-the-art equipment. So we deliver very clean product. Wow. Yeah,
90
it's
years.
cool.
How did you meet your husband?
In college, on spring break, down in Florida.
Perfect.
Yeah, really bad.
Oh boy, no alcohol involved at all.
No. And then we were married when we were 20 and 23.
No, you were not.
Yeah.
I guess that adds up, doesn't
Yeah.
it? That makes sense. But like
44 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
On spring break, married 44 years.
Yeah.
So cool.
This summer. Oh, I know.
Wow.
Crazy. 4
That is-
kids. Yeah.
And 4 kids.
All grown. Probably
And all married. Yeah.
probably your age.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I'm 38.
Okay.
I had to think for a second, but I am. I'm still
My
38.
Where did you go to? Did you grow up here?
I did. I went to Westfield High School.
Okay.
I have 2 younger sisters. We all went to different high schools. So I had a sister go to Brebeuf.
Yeah. Really?
Hill, Casey Hill. You'd have to ask.
Casey
Maybe.
Hill.
I wonder
How old is she?
I barely remember how old I am, Lisa. She must be 36. She's like 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah. So what year was that? 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated 04.
04.
Yeah.
So I have a daughter that's 41,
Okay.
39, and then the boys are 36
Okay.
and 34.
Okay. Did they all go to Brebeuf?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Probably. I'm sure.
So Casey Hill.
Yeah.
That would have been maybe Ben's class.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Anyway, we will find out.
We will find out.
Another connection that you mentioned earlier on was Wawasee.
Yes.
So we go to Wawasee.
Really?
Yeah. And I've run up there. I've done the
Flotilla race?
Yeah.
I know. That's a good race to stand on the podium.
And you get to win who knows what. It's amazing.
Don't you love that? Did you run last summer?
Yeah.
You know what?
We were there together.
Yeah. I didn't run the 8 miles last year. I
Okay.
ran the 3 because I wasn't really prepared.
Okay.
Did you run 8?
Yeah. That's so fun. Well, when I would do fall marathons, it usually
a-
signifies my kickoff to my
it's
training.
the perfect time
Yeah.
to have 8 mastered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes.
a fun race. But
Yeah.
we've been going. We're at the Spink in Wawasee, which is this big condo building. There's
Sure.
only a few of those on the
Yeah.
lake.
Yeah.
And-
We're right by the Wawasee Boat Company.
Okay. Yeah.
Just down in Pickwick Park.
Yeah. That's so close.
Okay, well, we're going to start running.
Right.
Well, you'll be a little faster
Well,
than
no,
me,
it
but
doesn't
we
matter.
can start together.
Well, it'd be so fun. I love being able to run up there.
It's a great place to run
Yes.
around. Do you run around Syracuse?
Yeah.
It's a little harder for you to get to. Where do you run from the Spink?
So I will run up. So the trail goes pretty far from the Spink because if I start out and I head, what direction is that? North,
I don't
maybe?
know.
I don't know. But
I'm
we have a
terrible.
trail that they finally
Yeah.
put in a sidewalk, so I can
Good.
I can get on a sidewalk all the way. I usually run 6 miles. I can run kind of to the Dairy Queen that's on.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's where you turn to go to my house
That's so funny.
at the Dairy Queen.
Okay. Well, and I have another woman who's been on this podcast, Jordan Huffman. She goes up there in the summers too, and so we've gotten to run together. We've only been able to match up weekends once, but it's so nice to be able to
It's beautiful.
to run up there. I love it. I used to run when I would marathon train out on those country roads, but I don't do that anymore. Because my parents are like, no, you're going to get kidnapped or who knows.
Or bitten by a
run
dog
over.
or-
Or, yeah.
People drive fast.
They do. It's a little nuts.
Yeah, like the other side of the lake. I used to run from the other side and try and come back towards the middle
Okay.
school.
Yeah.
It's like taking your life in your hands.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Or
One of
get
these-
dropped off at the fish hatchery and try and come back. No.
Yeah. One of these days, there's got to be a path around that. And that will
They're
be
working on it.
unbelievable.
Yeah. We
And
give
then we
money
probably
to
won't
it.
be up there anymore by that time.
No,
So,
you
yeah,
will.
I hope so. I love it up there.
I hope so too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great spot.
Yes. So Wawasee. So yeah, perhaps if you're there for the 4th of July.
Well, I was just saying, after this Moab race, I've got to hang on to this mileage
yeah.
so that I can run the 8 miles again. Last year, for some reason, I totally quit after Moab Run the Rocks, and I just didn't run that much. I ran, but I didn't keep my distance up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have grandbabies?
I do.
How many?
Samantha has 3 older ones that are in high school, middle school, and elementary school. So 16, 14, and 10.
Wow.
And then our son just had his first a year ago, and we just celebrated that last weekend in New York. But nobody lives here in Indianapolis.
Nobody here.
Nope.
Okay.
New York, Denver, Los Angeles, and Ashland, Oregon.
Some cool places to visit.
Yeah.
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 I
So
mean,
that-
if they're not going to be here, might as well be somewhere that's
Yep. So
fun
we go.
to visit.
So we go run other places. We go visit, and we're lucky that we can do it.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
So fun.
So fun. So yes, we have some runners over the. Mia is running. Charlotte can run, but she loves horses. Will is still figuring things out. So he's only 10. His
Yeah.
birthday is today, actually.
Oh, that's
yeah,
fun.
Turns 10 today.
10 on it's
On
his
the
golden
10th.
birthday.
Oh my gosh, I forgot
That's
to say that to him
special.
this morning. I got.
Well, you'll have to remember that.
I'll
Be
have
like,
to call
it's
him
a
back.
special day. It's golden.
It's golden.
Golden. Yes. Yeah.
Golden
Okay.
queen.
Wow. All right. So, how many half marathons do you think that you've done, Lisa, in the course of your running?
45, 50? If I ran them 2 a year for
Okay.
25 years.
Gosh. Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say probably at least.
At
I
least.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. Some years 3, some years none, some years probably close to 50.
Okay.
I mean, if you count a 3-day trail race.
Well, yes. Yeah.
I mean,
counts.
The length.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are some of your most memorable races or like any stories that come to mind when you think about those races that you've done?
Well, the 3-day trail races are just amazing.
Yeah.
The people that you meet, the scenery that you see, the Trans Rockies race in Colorado, the day 2, you start in Leadville at 10,000 feet, and you run about 2 miles, and then you hike over, and then it goes up, and it's over Hope's Pass.
Oh my gosh.
And Hope's Pass is at 12.5, and it's a part of the Leadville 100. And at the top, there's usually a person in a Yeti costume that you can get your picture taken with.
That's
and then
funny.
you hike down or trot down the backside 4 more miles. And then you still have 4 miles to the finish line. It's absolutely the most beautiful course I've ever seen, and probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you sleep in that situation?
Intense.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Intense. So
Do you have to carry your tent, or
no,
is there okay?
it's
Because there's
totally deluxe. They set up Tent City.
Of course, that was a dumb question. I'll edit that out.
Yeah. Tent City,
But
shower,
I'm like, how does the stuff get everywhere?
shower trucks.
Oh,
They,
shower trucks.
You pack up your bag, you hand it to them in the morning, and it's where you land the next day.
That is pretty
that
cool.
afternoon.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And a shower.
They have shower trucks.
That's amazing.
Chat up people from all over the world standing in line to get a shower.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I showered at the Ragnar. No.
No, probably not.
No, because it's pretty short, and it's like you change clothes, you wipe yourself off, and
No,
you're like, okay.
yeah,
I got in a sprinkler once. I was like, this counts.
No, we didn't do that
Yeah.
either. No, the trail races are so fun just to see how many people are coming from how many different places.
That is true.
So many of us are flatlanders.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, we're
I don't think
we're
I've ever really.
flatlanders. I mean, my hill training is up the Butler Hill and the Bell Tower steps. I mean, that's what I'm doing for my hill. Mm-hmm. Do you know any other hills?
Right.
Or Holliday Park.
Right, Holiday
or doing,
Park. Eagle Creek, people
and
do
going
hills out there.
And going and doing Eagle
Fort
Creek.
Bend, we have a hill.
I'm not close enough to do that
Yeah, I'm
one
not either.
all the time, but
Yeah. I know. Where I live, I'm in West Carmel. It's very flat.
yeah.
There's no there's no hills really to speak of. I did the New York City Marathon years ago, and I trained a lot of the hill stuff on my treadmill just using incline because,
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
That's terrible, isn't
Which was,
it?
a
I
little
hate
bit of
terrible.
torture.
No, another good memory, though, was that I got to run her first half marathon with my granddaughter,
Oh, yes.
Mia Larkins, last fall, and we did the Monumental together, and she did great. Just did great. And
That's
I
a cool
only
memory
finished
to have.
45 seconds per mile behind her, so I felt really good about that.
As you should. Yeah. How did she feel at the end? Was she like, I can't wait to do that again?
She is signed up to do a big trail race with her father this summer.
Okay.
So,
which one?
It's the last year of that Trans Rockies
Oh, okay.
race
So
in
it's still that, so she's doing it.
So she's doing it. And they have to stay 2 minutes apart because they're running as a team.
Oh, interesting.
And so he's in big trouble, her father,
Yeah.
because she can run.
So he's going to have to somehow
He
keep
is,
up.
I think he's panic stricken.
I would be.
I know.
That sounds...
I mean, it'd be one thing to go do it on your own and do your own thing.
right. But
But another thing to know, I mean, I see why he wants to be near her, but I hope they can stay together. She's going to be waiting around for him. I know it. And she's good. She's long. She's lean. She's got legs like a gazelle. I mean, she's going to be a great runner. She is a great runner. She's running cross country.
Oh, that is...
So with minimal training, she finished like at an 8:45 pace for her first half marathon. And I think she ran 1:10.
Yeah.
I'm like, you haven't even tried yet, and you're awesome.
Yeah.
Already.
That's so... man.
So I just have to say that was really special for me that she goes, GoGo, I think I'd like to come and run my first half marathon in Indianapolis with you. Would that be okay? I'm like, are you kidding? I would love that. It was heartwarming.
Yes. My dad, he is going to be 69 this year.
Okay.
And he is one of the reasons I got into running. My mom used to run as well.
Oh, so you've really come from a family of runners.
that liked running. There was no cross-country track, though, in the family. It was just my parents, when they had us, they would run.
Yeah.
And so he really, really wants to do a race with my oldest daughter. He's like, I just really hope that someday she wants to, and I can still do it, and that she wants to do it. And he's trying to do the math. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like how old she has to be and he has to be to...
I know.
I
They
know,
can do
it's-
it.
yeah.
So is he's still running?
He's still running.
See,
He is. Yeah.
that is such, I know. Every time I think, well, I'll be able to, and then there goes somebody by me who's older than I am, or
Yeah.
that I meet up at a race, and you're like, well, I got to keep,
Right.
I guess I'm going to keep running.
There was a woman who did the 7 continents in 7 days who was 68. No. I look at that. I'm like, oh my God, what?
7 continents in
7
7
days.
days. That's incredible.
That's nuts.
That is incredible.
See, there you go. Add that
There
to
you
your
go.
bucket list.
Yeah, I don't know. But I am so inspired by people that do that, and that's
Right.
what keeps us all going.
Yes,
Well, if
absolutely.
they can do it, and
Yeah.
I wrote this down this morning. I think the thing that you have to remember is that your body can do way more than you think it can. You just have to be willing to let it try.
That's really good. And it's so true.
It is.
You can talk yourself at it, just about anything.
Right. You had written, like, what's your mantra? I don't know that I have a mantra necessarily. Do you have a mantra?
Oh, yeah.
What is
I have lots
yours?
of them now. Run the mile you're in.
Run the mile.
Or you get to do this. Those are my 2 favorites.
You get to do this. Right. You're lucky. And I say you're lucky to do this.
Yeah.
It's just another mile. I
Right.
guess I
Yeah,
say that.
Similar things, right? You're
It's
like,
just another mile. Or when I get to over the halfway point, you've run 6 miles a million times.
Yeah.
It's just 3 miles. How many 3 miles have you walked?
right, exactly.
Those are
Yep.
the things that I say to myself. And I have to say that I talk to people that aren't here, whether that's spiritual or not. But
Right.
I talk to my dad, who was a fabulous runner in England. When he was in his early 20s after the war, he was running with men that were training to be in the Olympics in England. They were London runners, and he was running a 4:25 mile.
What?
I know. He ran cross-country stuff. He said we'd have to hike 10 miles to the cross-country course
Yeah.
in the Army or in college or in boarding school, and run a 7-mile course over hill and dale, through water, steeplechase kind of,
Stuff, yeah.
and
Wow.
then hike home. And he was the champ, 7 miles.
Cool.
So my
Yeah.
dad died just a year ago in January, and that day after he died, I thought, I need to run because I was training for this race. I said, okay, I'm going, and I ran 7 miles, and I talked to him the whole way.
There you go.
It's good.
He lived a really long life.
He's
How old?
96.
96.
96.
Yeah, that's
But-
pretty incredible.
So I tend to talk to people that aren't here anymore, that have maybe died too soon, and I also think about all the people who can't,
Right, who physically,
who physically
Yes.
can't through misfortune, and would love to be able to do something like this, and
Yes.
how lucky we are to be moving and doing something like this at this point, at any point in your life.
Right.
It's such a uplifting experience.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel good about everybody else around you.
Yeah,
It's a wonderful thing.
it really is.
And it makes you feel lucky.
Yeah,
and
I
blessed.
really do feel so lucky when
Yeah.
I try to always remember that when I might not want to. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
You get to do it, though,
You
so-
get to do this.
Right.
I am so
So
lucky. I get to do
say
this.
that all the time. Now I have it on my wall in my home gym.
Do you?
Yep.
You get to do
Yep.
this. So do it.
So just do it. Don't complain about it.
Quick reminder, this podcast is also brought to you by Athlete Bouquets. Celebrate finish lines and milestones of the people you love with runner gifts from athletebouquets.com.
So growing up, did you spend time in England visiting your dad's family that was
A
still
little
there?
bit. Both my parents are British, actually.
your mom too?
My mom is too.
Okay.
And my mom is still alive. She's 93.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I've got some longevity if I behave right.
If I behave right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying. So, yes, we did not go to England much when I was a child, but we have traveled there many times since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
was
wild
in-
having both parents that are British.
I know. I couldn't figure out what my parents are. I mean, we all speak English, but my parents are very different from everybody else's. I don't know why. Well, after I finally, grew up and went to England many times in my 20s and 30s, I was like, I get it now. They're British. They're not American. They're British, and it's totally different culture.
What were some of the things that you would say were like so different?
Oh, their accents, the way they said things, the way they phrased things. That my father went to boarding school. They didn't understand the school system here. They didn't understand. They just look at things completely different. I don't know. Small village English life.
What about tea? Like, do they like
tea
a lot?
every afternoon.
That's why I'm trying to think of the cliches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tea every afternoon at 4. Eggs and fried bacon on fried toast every morning with a roasted tomato. Yes.
Okay.
Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding on Sunday nights.
What's the pudding? What's that?
It's actually like a bread. It's a puffed bread. It's
sounds good.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. A roast every night of my childhood. I mean, on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
A roast beef and Yorkshire pudding or a roast lamb dinner with roasted potatoes.
It's going to make me hungry. What brought them to the United States?
My father took care of cars for Grand Prix race car drivers. And
That's so cool.
I know.
What?
So they raced all over Europe, met some Americans and said, why don't you come to the United States and run the sports car club in Indianapolis? And they did.
Okay.
And then he drove cars for people here, but Grand Prix cars.
Grand Prix. Which is, I don't, this is
It's
where I'm like,
It's not an oval course.
Right,
It's
it's
a
like the-
road course.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not ever on
triumphs-
our speedway, but like,
No.
okay.
No. All kinds of races races that you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Silverstone, Sebring. Even I don't know all the races. Elkhart Lake.
Wow.
So they did all that. That's what brought them here, and then they stayed.
Wow.
And they stayed.
And were they in Indiana then the whole time?
The whole time.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Somebody
that's kinda
found him a
crazy.
job, and he was started as a mechanic, and then he worked for a trucking company and became a marketing sales director. And they stayed here the whole time.
The whole time.
And still, my mother still has a British accent.
I was curious about that.
She still has it. Yeah, slightly. She does not as much as
Yeah.
my family in England does, but my extended family. But she still has it.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I think my sports comes from my dad because he raced cars, he played tennis, he ran, he played badminton. He loved sporting games, racket games in particular. But
Are you a pickleballer? Do you pickleball?
I am trying to be. Yes,
I want to be a pickleballer.
I know.
We
It's
have
a fun game.
The Spink. We have courts
Right there.
up at the lake, and so I played a couple times.
I
but
play up there.
Yeah, that's fun. But with young kids, and they're like, we want to play, or it's just you have to pick and choose. Like, do I want to go for a run? Or do I want to play pickleball?
Right.
Well, usually the run wins.
Usually
because-
get up out of bed and go for your run
Yeah.
early, right?
Yeah.
While
I'll
everybody's
try.
I don't know,
Yeah.
being sleepy and watching cartoons.
Exactly. How did you get the name GoGo? I love it, by the way.
Thank you. I have a very good friend who is not with us any longer. And when I knew I was going to be a grandparent and when Samantha was pregnant, she goes, I know exactly what your name should be. It should be GoGo. I said, you know what? That has some merit. I like that. I think I'll do it. So a friend named me GoGo.
That's
and it's
even
stuck.
more special.
And my husband's name, now you're not going to be surprised by this, is Bean. GoGo and Bean. Those are our names.
That's just pretty great. Bean. Oh my gosh. So we
Yeah.
have my dad is Papa and my mom is BG.
BG.
For Big Granny because she's not big at all. She's very small. And so my sister, for
Granny.
some reason, started calling her Big Grandma or something. We were like joking about it. And then we'd call her
love it.
BG for short. And then it just stuck.
stuck.
And then
Now she's
So now
BG.
it's BG and Papa.
There you
Yeah.
go. BG and Papa.
I always love, hearing people's
I
grandparent
know.
names, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes you name yourself, like you get to pick, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm GoGo, here
Yeah.
I am. And then other times you get chosen, and they're like
Yeah.
calling him Bean, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my friend was poking fun of me. She goes, you're always doing something.
On the go.
You're
can
always
see.
on the go. Your name should be GoGo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. So it's fun.
that is really fun. I love that.
It's a good name.
That is a good
And so
one.
is BG. I like
Yeah,
that.
BG's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Big,
good.
and everyone's always like, "Why? What's that?" And we're like, "Big Grandma." And they're like, "Wait, that doesn't compute."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's fun, man. So we talk about the group of women that you've traveled with to races.
Yes.
So who are these women? How did you?
Well, now they're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
So I actually most of these friends. Well, one of them is my co-chair from the Holliday Park Trail Run.
Okay.
Since it started. And she was a young mother. And I said, and I knew she was a runner, and she's a fabulous runner. She's probably run 30 or 40 full marathons.
Wow.
And she helped me co-chair the Holliday Park Trail Run for the first decade. So, and her name is Sarah Kleeman. So she's one that comes and we do stuff together. Another one is a friend that I've known. She was our kid's babysitter.
Get out of town.
Yeah, and my children's godmother, and she's just 5 years younger than I am.
Yeah.
So she's done it. She's pulled in a friend. I don't know. We've just picked up people that are still running. But a lot of these, the other thing that you don't know about me when you said, "Oh, what is something you'd want us to know?" I have a very good friend, and I started a women's hiking group when we were 40 years old, when I was 40 years old, and we started going to national parks for a week and hiking for 5 days, and then backpack loaded out on the trail at 8:30 in the morning, home by 4:30, 5 o'clock. And we started this 25 years ago, almost, and we've been to so many national parks, and we have anywhere from 12 to 22 women that have joined us over the years for our hiking trips. And we've taken one every year, except COVID, for the last 25 years.
I want to be friends with you, Lisa.
I know.
Jeez.
So start a hiking group.
Yeah, there you go.
Start a women's hiking
Right.
group when you turn 40.
Yeah. Oh.
Because your kids will be at about the right age, and you can
Get-
probably get away for 4 to 6 days
Yeah.
and go pick a place and go do it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, sleeping in tents and
No, we're like
a good day hike.
Good hiking.
We've hiked everywhere from 4 to 14 to 17 miles in a day.
That's really
Come
cool.
home, go
That's
out for
so
dinner,
fun.
have a glass of wine,
Perfect.
get up, do it again. Make your breakfast, make your lunch, put it in your backpack, and go hike.
Okay, so you obviously like the Rockies a lot because you've done the running there. But like, what else? What is your favorite spot?
Oh my gosh, I would say Olympic National Park.
That's Washington.
Washington.
Okay. Proud of myself. For that.
Olympic National Park.
Okay.
Yes, we've been there twice, and then I took our whole family there for my 60th birthday. Beautiful park. Different ecosystems. You can be in the rainforest. You can be by the ocean. You can be up at elevation on the mountaintops and the ridges. It's a fabulous, fabulous national park. But we've been all over. We've been to California. We've been to Washington. We've done Utah many times.
I saw you've been to Montana. We used to go out to Big
We've
Sky.
been Yellowstone.
I love
we've
that
done.
part of the country.
Yes. Yes, we've done Acadia. We've done the Smokies. We've done this year. We're going to do this. We're going to go to Santa Fe in October.
Okay.
And we're going to do kind of a combo art thing. And the other interesting thing about this group is there's a 20-year age span. We go from
So cool.
50,
I like that so much.
55 to 75, 80, almost 80. No, I think we're at 80. So we have a couple that are at 80. And everybody is got some aches and pains now, and we're offering 2 sets of hikes a day, and somebody's going to go shorter, and some of us are going to go longer, but it still works.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie, and everybody doesn't necessarily see each other all the time, but everybody is low maintenance and willing to get up, put on their backpack, and go.
Yeah.
And not fuss if the bed is crabby or
Yeah.
is terrible. We all have lots of friends that we love, but not everybody is cut out to go on a hiking
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
They just aren't.
Yeah, it's like, no offense. My mom listens to this. I love you, Mother. But she would not.
Yeah.
My poor mom, she can't sleep at all anymore. And so it's like, the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
She loves being active, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and some people really have to have things a certain way.
Yep, they do.
And when
That's
you
fine.
go and stay in national parks, you could sleep on the worst bed of your life for many days, and you can't complain about it because
Yeah.
look
'Cause
where
look
you
where you- what you get
look
to
where
do.
you are. We got everybody to sleep in tents once. We did a trip to Havasu and hiked down the canyon and stayed down in those beautiful turquoise waters for 5 days, and we slept on the edge of the Grand Canyon, but it was cold. And everybody said, we're so glad we did it, but we are not sleeping in tents again, so forget it.
Yeah. I would love to think that I could do that. But I don't know. I wasn't
We
raised where I went intense, and I think I could. I tried a little bit in Ragnar.
We did do it with a guide.
Okay, well, that's helpful.
Yeah, because
'Cause,
we didn't know what we were doing.
I was like, Lord knows.
You need to be safe from yourself.
Yeah, I was the one in the group. I get really hangry. I need to be fed.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm hungry, that's when it's not good. Otherwise, I would consider myself pretty easygoing.
Yeah.
People are going to laugh at that. I'm not that easy. I'm very type A, but I can relax.
Okay.
I could not. No, probably
Yeah.
not. It's probably not for me, but I want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another goal for this year is to hike our Knobstone Trail. Did you know that we have a trail in Indiana that is, I think it's well over 60 or 70 miles long.
Wow.
I
Where?
just picked up south.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes through Yellowwood and some of the Hoosier National Forest, and it's a full-length trail that you could do the whole thing and camp along the way,
Yeah.
or do it in sections. So I'm going to try and put together some women
go.
who would like to do 8 to 10 miles and
That's
then come
awesome.
home and then maybe next month go do another 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Hike it in sections.
Well, and I love the idea of doing that in Indiana because there's so much here that.
We have not explored.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why that Tecumseh Trail Run is so cool.
Yeah.
Because it's down in the Yellowwood Forest.
Oh,
and
I've
it's
heard a lot of people like
beautiful.
that race a lot.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I just remember the name Tecumseh. I used to go to Camp Tecumseh as
Sure.
a kid. So.
But of course, that's up.
Oh, that is.
It's
different than the. Okay, see, I had
it's
no
up
idea.
by Lafayette, and this Tecumseh Trail Run is down in Yellowwood
Okay.
State Forest.
All right. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, look it up.
Have you seen any crazy wildlife in these adventures of yours? Because I
this?
feel like you've had to have seen some pretty cool stuff.
Hiking? Yes, more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yes, giant steer, a few bears that ran through our group. Wrestled through and then took off. Fortunately.
Yeah.
Bighorn sheep, all the usual stuff.
yeah.
Eagles, all
Yeah,
the usual
yeah.
stuff. Fox, yes, all the usual suspects,
Yeah.
but nothing ever super scary.
That's good. Yeah, bears are really scary. I don't.
Yeah, fortunately, this was a little black bear, so
Yeah.
that had just gotten away from its mother. We were a little worried about
Yeah,
where
'cause
the
you're like,
mother
"Where's
was.
Mom?" Otherwise, that's the
but
scariest part.
Not. We have not had any major sightings up close that were unwanted.
Yeah, that's good. That's so fun.
No.
This makes me want to do all the things again. Like I just.
Yeah.
There's
You got
so many
time.
cool experiences.
There are so many places to go,
Yeah.
so many things to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you say, oh, you have time. It's like, well, I don't know. I hope I have time.
Right.
That's part of my problem is I'm like, well,
What if
I
I
don't
don't?
know.
What if
I
I
don't know
don't?
how much time I have.
That's why you make a plan and do it.
Yes, I like the plan. I need to plan.
Make a plan and do it. Make
Yeah.
a plan and do it.
What other marriage advice do you have for 44 years? Because I'm sorry, you got married in your 20s after meeting on spring break, and you have 4 kids that clearly you've raised, right? They're all married. They're off in cool cities.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my husband's about ready to retire, too. I don't know.
Oh, man. And then
I
what?
know. And then what? Marriage advice. I think you want to create a marriage and a partnership where you can both go and pursue the things you love. I don't love everything that he does, but I know it's important to him.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I go and do it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, he loves to fix bacon all the time. I don't love bacon, but I eat bacon because he likes it. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
That's a simple thing. I'm an avid gardener. He is not an avid gardener, but he appreciates my gardens and will go to England and look at gardens with me because he knows it's important to me.
Yeah.
So I think you end up doing things I think it's important to do some things that you might not necessarily choose, but you know it's important to the person that you love. So you
Yeah.
need to go do it with them.
Mm-hmm.
You really do.
Yeah.
You need to find a couple things that you can do together. And you need to be totally fine both pursuing your own interests.
Yeah.
And saying, that is great. I am so happy that you love that. Go do it.
Yes.
I support you 100%.
Yeah.
So I would say that's it. Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah. Yeah. And enjoy the ride. It's nice to have a person in your life.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that somebody's going to be there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gardening, too. So are you a master gardener?
I am.
Is that the highest level you can be? Or can
No.
I don't know anything about gardening. I just know that that's even a thing.
There's a Master Gardener course through our Purdue University. During COVID, they
My friend did
offered
it.
online, and so I did it.
Ugh.
And so we did it. To be a Master Gardener, the course is like a really great lecture course. What I loved about doing it online was we got a different speaker every week who was like a doctor of etymology or that knew everything about propagation or that
Oh my gosh.
that studied soil structure. It is a very textbook, science-based class that explains a lot to you and gives you a great big manual and the tools to be able to find the answer. Not that you're going to remember everything that you learned in these lectures by any means. And then you take a test, but then you have to do 50 hours of community service work somewhere in the community. And that counts, that is approved. And I was lucky enough to do it both at the blind school right by me at 75th.
Yep.
And they had a greenhouse program, and I got to work there during COVID without kids, so managing the plants and learning from that person. And also we have a program at Holliday Park called Garden and Grow, and it is a Master Gardener program, and it counts for volunteer hours.
That is so cool.
And through that program, we have a horticulturist that's with us every week on Friday.
Horticulturist.
Yes. That's somebody that really knows their
That
stuff.
is a word right there.
The horticulturist who has gone to 4 years of college and studied horticulture. But Chris Turner and Kelly Frank are both horticulturists, and they run our Master Gardener program on Fridays. So you can turn up any Friday from 9 until 11, and we take care of all of the gardens at Holliday Park. And then once a month, there is a lecture, which you can count for your education to keep up your Master Gardener certification.
Wow.
So, and the lecture's 30 minutes, and you might learn how to prune a tree or how to divide irises or or we might bring in a speaker. So, or the best tools for certain things. We had a Master Gardener come in and do his top 10 favorite tools.
Oh, that's fun. That probably cost you some money.
It was fabulous.
Like,
and he had all the websites, and he said, this is
That's
what
great.
it is, and this is how I organize my bucket. It was great.
Wow.
It was great. So if you're even interested in gardening a little bit and you have a few hours once a month, I don't go every week, but I go a lot in the spring and a little bit more in the fall. But I've gone in the summer. I'm working on my own garden in the summer.
Yeah.
It's a great program to meet people who like gardening, and you can learn a lot because everybody's there and you can ask any question that you want to know about.
Yeah.
And somebody probably has an answer. And the park benefits. We have some beautiful gardens at the ruins. We will have more gardens at the playground. We also take care of the front of the pergola at the nature center. We do all kinds of things. The rock garden in the back of the park. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and of course, city budgets are short, and those kind of things are not going to happen through Indy parks. They just can't.
Yeah.
So we really rely on volunteers to help us take care of all those things.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like there's such a subculture of like gardening. Like you could just go all in on that. And that's so cool. I have live plants in my house now. That's a big win for me.
I know. I don't even like the plants in the house. I only like them. I try
Outside.
and keep them alive in the winter so that they can go outside in the summer.
Yeah. Yes, that's fair.
That's about it.
But yeah, ever since COVID, I kind of found that I was home more, and so I could pay more attention.
Yeah.
Then I realized there's plants you don't have to pay attention to.
Not
and
really.
that was ideal.
Yeah.
So I have some that are still living, and some I've killed, but most of them are alive, which is great. It's a big win. So
that is a big win.
So I guess use this time to tell me about Holliday Park and the areas of the park, or just like the aspects. I mean, I know we can't talk all about all the programs and events and like all that, like the ice skating rink. There's so many things, but if you had to, I don't know, maybe just tell people, especially people who are local, about what Holliday Park is, why they should come to the park, a little bit of that, because I'm sure I'm going to learn something new. That's for sure.
Well, Holliday Park is a 95-acre park.
It's 95 acres?
It's 95 acres.
Okay.
And it is unique in that it has the White River at the bottom, which is really beautiful. And it has open space. It has playgrounds. It has a nature center. It has an outdoor pavilion area that you can rent for parties. It has the ruins, which is a very unusual feature that turned up in Holliday Park in the 50s. It was the facade of a skyscraper in New York that they were going to tear down. And they had a contest, and they said, whoever can think of a good idea to do what to do with this facade can have it. And a man named Elmer Tafflinger put together a plan of kind of what I would call installation art. And he won the contest. And so the ruins, the structure of this skyscraper, the pillars and the races of mankind, which are on top, there are 3 statues, which are actually done by the same sculpturist as our Soldier Sailors Monument.
No, that's wild.
Carl Bitter. So this whole thing came home, and then Elmer spent the next almost 20 years creating his vision. He had pools, he had reflecting ponds, he started around the bicentennial planting trees, 50 trees for 50 states. He had all kinds of things going on. Finally, in 76, around 73, Dick Litter said, "You need to be done. We're going to dedicate this," but he kept working on it. I mean, there are so many architectural pieces from so many different areas here in town. There's a fountain that's from Fountain Square. There are altar stones from churches. There are headless ladies from the courtyards. There are columns from different places. It really is a fascinating piece of installation art right there in the center of Holliday Park.
I just figured it was, this sounds so dumb when I say it out loud, but I just figured, I don't know, something was there and then it wasn't, and it was just kind of leftovers. I mean, I've never really spent a lot of time there, so I just didn't know.
Right. So we renovated it. We revitalized it.
Okay.
It fell apart in the 90s. It sat behind a chain link fence for a decade or more because it was no longer safe, and the pools were leaking several thousands of gallons a day. And so it just sat there, and it looked really terrible, and it looked like nobody cared about it, and nobody did. Yeah. And it made people not want to use the front third of the park. So we decided, we were called the Friends of Holliday Park. We are now called the Holliday Park Foundation. But at that time, they thought, you know what, we've got to do something. So we started working with a very talented architect, and he redesigned the ruins so that people could interact with it up close and personal. And then we raised, for 2 projects, the ruins, and we redid our Habitat Hall, our exhibit hall inside the Nature Center. We raised $3.2 million, and then we reopened the ruins at Holliday Park. And now it is this lovely place. It's opened up the front third of the park. People get their pictures taken there. People get married there. It's a really special place. It's just nice to sit on the benches. We have gardens there. It's really a fabulous, fabulous spot.
And now people, of course, who are local would know Rock the Ruins, the concerts that
concert series are there, yes. People enjoy the summer concerts. So I think we have 10 or 12 planned again for this summer, and they've been very, very, people love going. Yeah. Just love it. Just love it.
Yeah.
So
95 acres. I still can't believe how big it is. I need to look at a map of it.
There are about 3.5 miles of trails within the park. We also have a nice little prairie section, which is very lovely. We put in a new trail a couple of years ago, Trail 9, which is beautiful. The Holliday Park Foundation renovates or maintains, several trails every winter. Try and do work on our trails to make sure that people can enjoy them and that they're good. Which is a constant.
Of course.
You're always working on that.
Yeah.
You're always, and a lot of your trail run dollars go to that. There's a lot of great programming. Our fabulous Nature Center, of course, is a great place to visit as well.
Yeah.
So, we're kind of the full package. Oh, and then we've redone what I like to call the backyard of the Nature Center, has all native gardens now, and we're very lucky. We have the Susan Bai Outdoor Classroom, which is a beautiful structure that has a fire pit and table, a giant table, and you can hang out there. We will finish the trail run in the Susan and have our post-race food in the Susan Bai Outdoor Classroom.
Okay, totally. I can picture that now.
It's great.
It's
and
perfect
those
spot.
limestone the backyard is just fabulous. And there's a lot of good signage, and there's a pond there, so that when the staff wants to do some programming with some younger children that might not be able to get too far out into the trails, they can talk about any number of things right there in the backyard
That's really
of the
smart.
Nature Center.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Yeah, my first grader, she had a field trip there this year.
Okay.
It was the first time that her school had ever come, and it was great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they
so
played
many school programs
on that huge playground, which
Yes.
now
which is now behind a chain link fence
because you're going to redo it.
because we are at the tail end of a $6 million playground campaign to start over, reimagine that space, and build something new and fabulous. It's a nature-inspired playground. We have a great opportunity. I mean, not very many playgrounds get to sit in a beautiful park, natural setting like Holliday Park.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to take advantage of our natural setting and do something unique that nobody else is doing. We have lots of great playgrounds, both in Carmel and in Indianapolis, but this one will be nature-themed, wood, rope, log, boulder, animal-inspired play features. It's really going to be it's going to be a top destination for our community. Everybody's going to want to come.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great. So the playground has been demolished, and they are working on groundwork right now, and we will build through the summer, and it will be challenging not to have our beloved playground this summer, but I'm going to tell you, this playground is going to be worth the wait. So we hope to welcome families back in the fall, in September or October, and reopen again and watch. This will be the third generation of kids to start making memories at Holliday Park.
Cool. Yeah.
This is our third playground.
Wow. Yeah, the playground that just was also really great.
It was a great playground.
Yeah, I mean,
playgrounds last, which I didn't know, about anywhere from 13 to 15 years.
Okay.
Our playground that we just took down is 18 years old.
No way.
So we've gotten, it was put in 2006, 2007.
Wow.
So we are overdue.
Yeah.
We are overdue. We got to the point where you couldn't just repair, you needed to replace.
Yeah.
And it started to not make sense.
Yeah.
So this is a private campaign. Indy Parks, we hope, will contribute as well, and then we'll give this playground back to the city. And in our $6 million campaign is $1 million in our endowment to maintain it in the future.
Okay.
To help with maintenance, which is very important. All projects that the Holliday Park Foundation takes on always includes money for the endowment, because you can build a lot of things, but unless you can take care of it, you honestly shouldn't. You shouldn't do it, because Indy Park's budget just isn't big enough to maintain the 220 parks that they have. So that's where the Holliday Park Foundation fills the gaps, and that's where money from the trail run, which actually over the last 24, 25 years is over $750,000 we've raised through the Holliday Park Trail Run. It raises anywhere. In the beginning days, we were excited. I said the first year we did it, can we raise $10,000? If we can't raise $10,000, this event is not worth doing. And we had a few finance guys on our board, and I said, okay, you make the model. Tell me what my expenses need to be, how much sponsorship we need to raise in order to raise $10,000. And they gave me a good, better, and best. Well, I'm happy to report we definitely raised 10. We raised $14,000 our first year, and we were over the moon. Today, the trail run averages between $40,000 and $50,000 each year.
So amazing.
So it's really great because we've created an event that sponsors want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's about sponsorship. The runners come and they pay for the expenses with their entry fees. But the sponsors and anything extra that people buy, a T-shirt and things like that. And part of your entry fee does go back. Absolutely. But altogether, that's what makes a difference. It really does. So to raise $40,000 to $50,000 on a one-day event is just, and create a community event that so many people have fun at. You can bring your family, you can bring your kids. It's a win-win for everybody.
Win-win.
It's a win-win for everybody. So
everybody who's local who's listening is going to sign up now.
Come on. Yeah,
Let's
everybody
go.
that's local, you've got to sign up. And here's the deal. You want to sign up before March 1st because we have early bird pricing right now.
Okay, yes.
So the price is $30 right now for the 3 and the 5 mile. So you can walk a 3 mile course. If you're not a runner, that's fine. We'd love for you to come out and hike the course. You can run the 5 mile course. There is a time limit. We want you to be able to finish in just over an hour. So if you're, you can still walk. It's, and still do it. And then, so that is $30 right now until March 1st. The price will go up to $35 in March, and then day of will be $40. You can buy a T-shirt in addition. And then also you can come on Friday night and bring your family and do the 1 mile kids race is $20 for kids. And it's really geared for anybody. And we have some parents that trot along with their kids on the trail.
Yeah.
We do. We do because, you could have a 5 to 7-year-old that could walk 1 mile, and it's a great goal.
Yes.
So we want them to do it. And we have kids up to 12 years old that run in the 1 mile race. We have kids that are younger than that actually tackle the 5 mile race and run with their parents too.
Yeah.
So we've got something for everybody. And then we have those cute little tot trotters, and that event is free. So your younger kids get to come. They run around cones or around a little trail, come back. Everybody gets a participation award. It's really great fun, and honestly, it's the cutest thing ever. They're just so excited.
I love it so much.
So it's a great community event, and we hope everybody will come out and do it.
What are the dates again for this year?
So the dates are March 14th for the Friday night for the families, and then Saturday morning, March 15th. Race starts at 9. So you want to get there and get organized. Come by. You can pre-register. You can come and pick up your number and your bib early on Friday afternoon, starting from 4:30 to 6:30. If you're coming with your family, anyhow, your kids can run in the race that night. You can, as an adult, can pick up your number and then come back the next day and run the 5 mile course, which is fun, muddy, stairs, hills, rocks, water. We're going to show it all to you. So it is a rugged course, and everybody needs to be careful, but it's always fun, and everybody can have a great time.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be there Friday and Saturday, Lisa.
You're going to be there both days.
I will.
And then I'm going to put you on our board, too.
Yeah.
Even though you live in Carmel.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man. Well, I can't believe it's time for end of the podcast questions.
Well, what are the end of the podcast questions?
The first one we've touched on a little bit.
What's
your favorite running mantra and or song?
Okay.
Do you listen to music while you run?
I do listen to music while I run. I listen to all kinds of things. Sometimes when the miles are long, I even listen to books, which is kind of crazy, but I do.
I do that too.
I do. But I will tell you, from my Trans-Rockies trail racing days, this is kind of a funny song that makes me laugh every time. They started the race every morning with the song Highway to Hell.
Perfect.
And honestly, I listen to it almost every time I run a long race. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get there, but Highway to Hell seems like a good one.
That is pretty good.
I know. It's kind of silly. And then what was the other question?
Yeah, then we talked about mantras earlier.
Mantras.
Yeah.
It's just another mile.
Just another mile.
It's just another mile.
Yeah. I like thinking about that too. I can run a mile 13 times or, whatever. Just whatever you got to do to tell yourself to make it seem more manageable. Because it is.
It's just another mile.
Yeah.
And it's just running also.
And you can do it. Right. It's just running. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I get to do this.
So true.
Just do it.
And then your next finish line or milestone
My next finish
is
line.
the Trans.
Actually,
or
it is a Trans Rockies race, but it's called Moab Run the Rocks.
oh,
And
that's right. Yep.
And it is in Moab, Utah, March 7th, 8th, and 9th, right before our trail run on the 14th, 15th. So I'll be good and sore.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. Yeah.
And the other funny thing is, I've never participated in the actual Holliday Park trail run.
I should have asked you that as well because it's
Nope.
your race. You don't get to participate.
No, I'm always out on the course taking
Yeah.
pictures and making sure the course is right in the morning and fussing with post-race
Yep.
food and
Yep.
greeting people and chatting people up. And
Yep.
I kind of run the race with a camera and take people's pictures, and they're like, wait, I just saw you a minute ago. I said,
Yeah.
yes, but I know all the shortcuts.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
But I just saw
How
you.
did you get there?
Uh-huh. Sometimes I get in my car and drive to a new point.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's fun.
And so 44 years of marriage, 50 years is coming up. Do you guys have something like big in your mind that you're going to do to celebrate 50 years?
No, I don't know. Something though. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll do something.
Something big.
No, I have not even thought about it. I have not.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
a big milestone.
That is a big milestone. I remember doing stuff with my husband's parents for their 50th. They took us all on this huge Mediterranean
There you go.
cruise. That was pretty
Sounds
cool.
great.
I don't know. We'll have to think of something.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We took everybody to Hawaii for my husband's 60th birthday.
That's pretty good.
We took everybody to Olympic National Park
For yours.
For mine. So those were our last big milestones.
Okay.
So I don't know. We didn't do anything for Rick's 60th. I think 65th, I think we had a wedding.
Yeah, right?
So that counted. We took everybody for a wedding.
There you go.
Charlie got married.
Yeah, the weddings of your kids looked fantastic, by the way.
Yes, we've had 2 weddings in a year. I mean, one October of 23 and one of 24.
And were those which of your kids were those?
Britt, our second daughter,
Okay.
oldest daughter, and Charlie, our youngest son.
Oh.
Yeah, so everybody's married now.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Well,
That has
it's
to feel
great.
good.
It feels good, and they're all doing great things in their lives, and that's all you can hope for.
Yes.
They're happy and they're good, and they found good people, and we love all their partners and all their husbands and spouses. And it's been great. It's been great. I am blessed. Truly, truly blessed.
Well, Lisa, it's been so fun getting a chance to meet you.
This has
Thank
been
you so much for doing
really
this.
fun talking about all my favorite subjects: running, gardening, hiking. It's all
Yeah,
good.
It's all here. And then
And Holiday Park.
And Holliday Park, which is 2 L's. I don't know if we said
2
that at the
L's.
beginning.
Yes,
I can't
and
remember.
go to holidaypark.org.
Yep.
And you will find Trail Run, or if you Google Holiday Park Trail Run, it will come up. Or you can also find it through Tuxedo Brothers websites. It'll come up that way too.
Yep. And I'm going to put it in the show notes for the podcast too.
Thank you.
And whenever I share this, I'll link it as
Thank
well.
you. So come
join us.
run and come help us take care of Holiday Park.
Yes. Perfect. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And thank you to everybody who's listened.
Yes, thank you.
Happy running.
Thank you for inviting me today. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Okay.
All right, we did it.
We did it.
If you enjoyed this Sandy Boy Productions podcast, please share, rate, review. If you want to be internet friends, you can find me on Instagram, AllieTBrett_runs. And I hope you're back next week.